Hi, and welcome to this old house. The driveway is a big part of curb appeal that, unfortunately, often goes overlooked. But it doesn't take much to transform a plain old patch of tarmac. You just need a weekend to install a decorative driveway apron. These days, manufacturers make concrete cobblestones that look just like the real thing, but they're much easier to work with. That's because they're connected by a grid, just like mosaic backsplash tiles. That means you don't have to install stones one by one. A good depth for a driveway apron is about 10 feet, so start by measuring 10 feet up from the curb on the shortest side of your driveway. Mark the spot and run a chalk line from there straight across to the other side of the driveway. Now you have your cut line. To make the cut, use a concrete saw fitted with a diamond blade. On the first pass, make a shallow cut, then attach a garden hose to the saw and turn the water on to keep dust down as you cut all the way through the material. Once it's cut, use a hammer drill to break it up into chunks that you can remove easily with a hand tool. The bed underneath should be in pretty good shape, but you'll need to add some leveling sand. First, stake out lines to help you follow the existing grade. Then excavate the bed until it's a ½ inch deeper than the height of your cobblestones. Next, add a 3/4 inch layer of leveling sand and spread it out evenly with a rake. To tamp it down, you'll need a plate compactor, a heavy machine that you can rent. Run the plate compactor over the sand and keep at it until you can't see your footprints. Now comes the fun part. Start laying down your cobblestone mats, working from one side to the other in rows. Snip off the half stones at the edges of the mat so that the next one can interlock with it. Your mats won't end perfectly at the sides, so you'll need to cut some cobbles to fit. Mark a cut line on the cobble and score it with a mason's chisel and a hand sledge. Just make sure to angle the chisel toward the waist side of the cobble. Then, strike the chisel with the sledge to make the cut. Once the apron area is all filled in with cobblestones, wet down the cobbles with a garden hose. Run the plate compactor over them as well. This presses the cobbles into the leveling sand so they end up flush with the surface of the driveway. Then you should cover the edges of the driveway and street with a strip of duct tape. That's because grout stains. Use a cement mixer to mix the permeable grout. And finally, pour grout onto the cobbles a little bit at a time and use a squeegee to spread it into the joints. Work diagonally to the grid to fill in the joints evenly. But before it dries, use a push broom to sweep away any excess grout left on top of the stones. Then comes the hard part. Don't walk on the surface for at least 24 hours, and don't drive on it for 72 hours. That shouldn't be too tough though. You can admire your handiwork from a distance.